Jonathan made the Speed Movie Madness. The movie I'm going to check out today, the movie I'm going to check out today was sent to me by the director himself. If you are familiar with my reviews, then you should know the name Joe Sherlock. I reviewed every single thing that Tony of SW Horror put out by him. And after my Dreamwalkers review of last week or the week before, he sent me a message on Facebook and was like, "Hey, would you like to check out and review my newer stuff?" And I said, "Absolutely." I'm really super excited because I wanted to see his newer stuff. So he sent me a package of 8 movies, and I had a hard time picking up the first one to review. So it was by random I picked out this one, and I'm really glad I did so because it was a ton of fun. And that movie is the one, the only Drifter. I'll get a better view of the cover. I mean, the lighting kind of sucks, but what is The Drifter about? Well, The Drifter is about a mysterious drifter hides out in a vacant house, much to the realtors charge him. The drifter is losing his mind with bloody consequences for handyman, painters, and others who show up at the house. But why? Why is he losing his mind? Interesting question indeed. First of all, the thing that right away blew my mind about this movie is how unbelievably great it looks. I'm only familiar with Joe shot on video stuff, so that's the Joe I know and the Joe I love is that SOV look and feel, and I love the SOV look and feel. No, I'm not trashing it whatsoever. I love shot on video stuff, but when this movie started, I was like, holy shit, this movie looks amazing. And then I looked and seen that Joe photographed the movie. Actually, Joe, he wrote, directed, photographed, and edited this movie. And that's one thing I gotta mention is this is definitely, of the stuff I've seen so far, is his best made movie. You can tell that since his, let's say, since Dimension of Blood, because I think that's one of the first things he directed, maybe the first thing. From Dimension to Blood to this in 2014, you can see the tremendous leap he had made as a filmmaker, but he's still making this similar kind of movies, the kind of movies he likes, the kind of movies I like, and he's not changing those. I hate when a filmmaker that, they grow as a filmmaker, yes, but they stop making the kind of movies that made them have a fan base in the first place. I think examples being people like Sam Raimi and Peter Jackson, and this is no offense to anybody who likes Lord of the Rings or anything, but I highly prefer their horror stuff. And yes, they have approved as directors, but improved, not approved, improved as directors. But I miss the good old days of Bad Taste and Evil Dead and all that. And the movies they're making now just do nothing for me. So I like when the director, improves, improves, but still making the kind of stuff that made me fall in love with him in the first place. Another example would be Chris Seaver. If you look at Mulva, Zombie Ass Kicker, and then you watch The Weirds, you can see the tremendous leap he's made as a filmmaker, but he's still making the movies with the same kind of sense of humor, the same wacky characters, and the stuff that we fell in love with Chris Seaver and the Chris Seaver's films in the first place is still there. He just has improved as a director. And that's the same way with Drifter, with Joe Sherlock. It's a very much still a Joe Sherlock movie, but he has made a tremendous leap as a filmmaker. This movie is well directed, it's well edited, it's incredibly well photographed, and it's well written. I would say it's, of the ones I checked out so far, it's definitely his best movie. Now, I got more titles to review, so that might change, but so far this is his best movie. But the thing that really got me into this movie is just how simple the story was, but the direction the story took in its third act. Now, I'm going to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but about an hour into the movie, you kind of find out what's going on with the Drifter, and when it revealed what was going on, I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh my god, that was awesome. I thought it was awesome. I could see it maybe being a twist that some people won't like, but I like when a director pulls the rug out from under me like that. Because what started off as a simple slasher movie about a drifter killing people who come into this vacant house one by one, turns into something different, not radically different. It doesn't suddenly become like a romantic drama or a romantic comedy or you know what I mean? It's still a horror movie, but it turns into a different horror movie. And I was like, holy shit, I thought it was so freaking cool. It was a nice Tales from the Cryptian twist. But I was just like, holy shit, that was cool. And another thing that blew me away by it is Rob Miracle, who was the special effects guy on pretty much I think all of Joe's stuff. He returns as the special effects guy in this. He also has a small part, I believe, as a mortician. He's really funny in his role, but he does special effects, and you can see the tremendous leap he has made as a special effects guy. That the effects in this movie are actually pretty damn good. The gore effects and the makeup effects. There's a couple tor- like towards the end, you see a bunch of dried out corpses, and those look fantastic. I thought those looked really cool and really well done. You can tell that he did some really good work on those. But the gore effects, because they're, of course, I gotta mention it's a slasher movie. Um, there is some pretty gory kills. I mean, the opening kills are fantastic. There's a nice disembowelment that I thought was really well done. There's some axes to the head, some hammers to the head, some slit throats. It's pretty bloody. The movie delivers on some bloody kills, and Joe knows that, and he really did deliver on that. But also, and I know you're asking about this, does he deliver on the nudity? Yes, there's lots of boobs in this movie. This movie is filled to the brim with blood and titties. So if you're wanting to watch this movie for blood and tits, you're gonna get blood and tits. Um, Joe's early stuff didn't really have nudity. He wasn't doing the nudity at time later on. So this is the period where he was doing nudity. I think the only movie that I've seen by him that had nudity in it was Bloody Red Lips of Blood. So and even if this movie didn't have nudity in it, it wouldn't be a big deal for me because I would still like the movie for the a lot the reasons I mentioned earlier. But the boobs do add an extra amount of fun to the movie. It's really nice to see just a good old-fashioned slasher movie with some gory kills and some boobies and some fun characters. And this movie does have some fun characters. And you get John Bowker has a small part in this. Rob Miracle, who I mentioned, has a small part as well. Joe Sherlock has a small part as well, and also Dale Wilson. If you're a fan of Joe's works, these are very familiar people that always appear in his movies, and it was nice seeing them. I enjoyed their little small parts, and their acting is good. It's always fun seeing familiar faces, like John Bowker. I'm so familiar with his face right now that when I see him, I'm like, hey, that guy. And it's always fun. And like I said, he's also a great director. So, but yeah, I'm kind of rambling on a little bit right now, but yeah. Also, I got to mention the score by Steve Sessions. List Steve Sessions. The score really stood out in a good way. Most of the time when you have a score in an independent movie, sometimes it's not necessarily bad. It's just forgettable. But the score in this movie was far from forgettable. It's a really well done horror movie score. It did stand out, like I said, in a good way. And then I remember, a really good score. After you're done watching the movie, you'll remember it in your head. And I still remember the score in my head right now, and it was really well done. So I got to give Steve Sessions a big, amount of props right there. He did a really well done horror score. And I also want to give props to Bob Olin, and I hope I'm saying that right. If not, I apologize greatly. He's the one that plays the Drifter in the movie. He says a lot without saying a single word. He says a lot with his face and his body movements. Really done, really well done. He plays the part perfectly. He is this whacked out drifter who is murdering these people. For what reasons? Watch the movie. Also, I got Richard Johnson, who plays the realtor in the movie. He was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed him as well, especially trying to sell the house and, well, and all this shit's going on. Again, I don't want to spoil what ultimately happens with his character, but he was a lot of fun as well. Actually, the whole cast pretty much. There was some iffy acting, like I said earlier, but for the most part, everyone did a really solid job, and you could tell everyone put, everything they had into it. But yeah, I'm kind of rambling on again still. But overall, yeah, Drifter was a ton of fun. It has all the blood, all the boobs, and all the insane twists you would want in a B movie. And if you're a fan of Joe's work and you haven't seen it, oh my god, I highly recommend it. And if you haven't seen any of Joe's work, this is not a bad one to start with. Actually, this is a really good one to start with. So I highly recommend this one. The good news about this movie is you can watch it 3 different ways. You could buy a physical copy at skullfaceastronaut.com. It's on video on demand on Vimeo, and also you can watch it for free on Tubi. Now, I will say I don't know if the version on Tubi is edited or not, Some movies on there are edited for nudity and whatnot, so I have no idea. So if you watch the movie and there's no nudity in it, then it's the edited version. But you can watch it that way, Vimeo Video on Demand, or you can buy a physical copy at skullfaceastronaut.com. I will have a link down below for all that. As for special features, there's no special features on the menu, but there is a 14-minute behind the scenes video at the end of the movie. The movie itself is 76 minutes, and then the rest of the 90 minutes, or the rest of the runtime for the 90 minutes, is the behind the scenes video. And I thought it was actually really cool. It kind of reminded me of the Video Zone from the Full Moon days. So that was cool. But yeah, overall, yeah, Drifter, so much fun. And it's great seeing Joe, grow as a filmmaker, but still delivering all the B-movie goodness that we love and cherish. So yes, this one is on my highly recommended list, Drifter. Check it out. As for our next review, well, I got 7 more movies by Joe to check out, including a brand spanking new one. So, well, not sure which one I'm going to be reviewing next. I could be reviewing, screw it. I'm going to say right now which one I'm going to review. I'm going to review Channel 99, which is a brand spanking new movie. And I'm really excited to check that one out. I'll have trailers for Drifter at the end, as well as the Dreamwalker review. So if you like my channel, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below. If you are a fan of Joe's work, what is your favorite Joe Sherlock movie? I will say so far that it's Drifter, which is, I just saw it and everything. But besides Drifter, I really like Monster in the Closet and Zombie Love Slave, which you can buy from SOBhorror.com. Also, I have a merchandise store on Teespring. I will have a link down below for that, where you can get t-shirts, coffee cups, and more. But that's it for now. I'm Jonathan Knight. This has been B-Move Madness. Thanks for